And just as you're getting started, did you guys know that today is International Kissing Day?
International Kissing Day.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you are.
To all of you.
I think we are live. I think, yeah, that's working. Got it. Now I will just mute the lines out. Hey, everybody on YouTube, and hey, everybody that's live on the Zoom with us. And we'll get this party kicked off and record. All right. Hey, everybody. We're back again. Wednesday training, me and Michelle Blanchard. She's all the way in Colorado, and I'm all the way in Dallas. And we're just coming to you live to share tips, just like we do every Wednesday, on how you can grow your network marketing business. This is for anybody and everybody that wants to get tips, and we love feedback. And if there's something you want us to dive into, just reach out to one of us and we'll do just that, and we'll go into details of that. But I love letting ladies go first, and Michelle has a great topic, great topics to share with you guys today. So I'm actually going to let Michelle go first today. And my partner in crime, hope y'all got some pen and paper, because she's going to drop some golden nuggets for everybody.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So I have been thinking a lot about teamwork and about how do we run a business effectively? This is a unique industry, right? Where we have the ability to work for ourselves, set our own hours, do it the way that works for us. And there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of benefit. There's a lot of freedom in that. And there's also, I think, a tendency sometimes to think that because we have that ability, that we have to do it by ourselves. And that is not the case. And in fact, one of the things that I love about this business is that we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And when we recognize that, there's power in that. And has anybody ever had to do a group project? Probably school was, the most prominent thing that comes to mind, where you had to do a project with a group of people. And as I mentioned that, there's probably some of you who, just in thinking about it, you're cringing and you're going, ugh, I hate group projects. I hate them. And I'm going to make the assertion that the reason we don't like them is because there's something about whatever that project is that we feel within ourselves, other people are not going to do that aspect as well as we are. And so what tends to happen is we will get to a place where we're like, I'll just do it myself. Just go away, leave me alone. I'm just going to do it myself. And I think what that comes down to is the areas that we stress about, the things that we look at that and go, oh, it's not being done right. It's not being done right. I can do it. I can do it. Just let me do it. Those are the areas that we excel. That whatever the thing is, that when you think about that getting done by somebody else, if that causes you some internal angst and anxiety where you're like, I really would like to do that because I can do it really well. Those are the areas that I'm going to bet you're really good at. Because there's probably elements and areas that you're like, ooh, no, thank you. Don't sign me up for that one. I don't want to do that one. And those are the areas that's probably not your strong point. I know for me, I kind of try to avoid the things that make me uncomfortable in those scenarios, where we go, hey, I need to volunteer for this. I need to volunteer for that. The things that I'm good at, those are the things that I'm going to step up for and volunteer myself to help with. Well, in this business, it's no different, right? It's in some ways, it's like a giant group project. It's not, but it is, because we have the ability here to bring in people we all have different skill sets. We all have different areas that we excel. We have different backgrounds. And so we bring to the table different strengths, different perspectives, different skill sets that we can offer to our team, to our business partners. And so as we begin to grow our teams and to build our businesses, in the beginning, there's probably a lot of, I have to do this by myself, in the sense that we need to commit to ourselves that we're going to do this and get it done, that we're going to put the work in, that we're going to talk to as many people as we need to talk to, that we're going to do all of the things that need to get done. And then along the way, as we grow, as we begin to bring on new team members, as we begin to have people raise their hand and say, yes, I want to do that too, we begin to bring in others who in some ways are going to be like-minded to us. In some ways, they're going to have very similar perspectives. They're going to be hard workers. They're going to be self-starters. They're going to be people who say, I don't need somebody, telling me this is what I have to do. I can just see it and get it done. And those are attributes and strengths that are going to be of benefit and value to our businesses. And when those people start to come along, they're going to have other skill sets than what we have. And so learn what they are. Like, get to know the people around you, get to know your business partners, your team members, the other people who are coming along and joining you. Do an inventory with them, like sit down and find out, what do you like to do? What do you not like to do? What are some areas that you find that you have a strong skill set in, or things that, you look at and you're like, hey, I'm a connector. I love to talk to people. We're going to start doing the in-person parties, or having big events where we're doing a super Saturday and we're bringing in a lot of people. Those things take a lot of work. They require teamwork. They require different roles to be filled and different job responsibilities to be taken care of. So have you ever seen any of the heist movie, the movies, like The Bad Guys just came out, and my kids have been watching that Bad Guys movie, The Italian Job, all of the shows where you've got this big job that's getting done, and you've got the tech guy who's behind all of the computer stuff and the passwords and the codes and the, all of the IT stuff. And you've got the leader, the guy who's got the swagger and the charisma, and he can talk to people, and he's the idea guy. Then you've got the driver who's good with all of the vehicles and getting you around from here to there. And every person on this team has a specific role. They have a specific strength. And if all you had was the idea guy, nothing is ever going to get done. And if all you ever have is the IT person, the job's not going to get done. There's a lot of different elements and different aspects of the job at hand that needs to get handled. And so when we learn what our team's strengths are, we need to identify our own. Like, what is it that I'm good at? Where do I fit in this puzzle? And where can I bring other people in and plug them in? Because I can tell you that people want to feel important. They want to feel needed and like they bring something of value to the table. And I'm going to tell you that every single person brings something of value. Whether they are brand new and it's day one, whether they've been here 10 years, it doesn't matter. Every single person who crosses your path brings something of value. You can learn something from them. They have a different perspective to offer. And it doesn't matter what their life story is, what their history is, where they see themselves going. If we will embrace the mindset that every person who crosses my path brings something of value, our perspective on people is going to shift. We're going to start looking at people just a little bit differently. Instead of looking at life going, what can I get out of life? What's in it for me? We look at other people as saying, you have value. What can I learn from you? And that changes things. And so as we bring people in, let's sit with them and find out, where do you fit in this puzzle? I want you in the puzzle. Like this is the puzzle of my business, my life, my future. I want you in my puzzle. You are a piece in this puzzle. And without you here, there's a hole. You ever put together a puzzle that didn't have all the pieces? There's holes in it. Every person puts their piece into the puzzle. And together we create this beautiful picture. And sometimes it can be hard as a type A personality, as somebody who's like, I need, this needs to get done, and we got to do this and this and this and this, and it has to be done just right. I am learning as that type A personality that sometimes the way somebody else does it is different than the way I do it. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I would do it. What's important is that it's getting done, that we are empowering other people to contribute. We are empowering them to say, you can do this. I will help you. If you don't know how, I can show you how, but I want you to be able to do it on your own as well. Like I want you to feel like you don't need somebody next to you to be able to have a conversation. I want you to feel like, hey, I can enroll somebody new. And you don't have to, pick up the phone and say, hey, I don't know how to do this. My goal is to give people the skills that they need. Like if there is knowledge, like a knowledge-based thing that somebody doesn't have that knowledge yet, I want to give that to them so that they feel empowered to go out and do it themselves, to be able to replicate it. And then we want to take that knowledge that we're sharing and that we're pouring into people, and we want to draw on their unique strengths. And so, for instance, you might have somebody who is a great speaker. They're a great speaker and presenter. They want to share. They want to present the information to, for them to stand up in front of a group of people and deliver a message is very comfortable and easy for them. But maybe that person is not the one that's the connector that brings the people into the room to give that message to. But you have one of those on your team. Let that person who's the connector bring the people, and let that person who's the presenter present. By utilizing everyone's skills and abilities, we are allowing ourselves to grow in a bigger and stronger way. Because when each person feels validated that they bring something important to the table, when they are recognized for their strengths and abilities and allowed to contribute, one person, I might give somebody a job and I'm thinking that's going to get done in this way, and they do it totally different. And initially I'm going to have a little bit of angst, like, that's not how I would do it. But if we can just kind of step back a little bit and allow people to contribute, allow them to find the other ways that work, then we're going to look at that on the backside and go, hey, check that out. That's not how I would have done that, but that worked really well. Now I have another tool in my tool belt to be able to use, or I've seen a way that, I can do it this way, or we can do it that way, or we can do it this way over here. And what that does is it creates a better, more well-rounded organization and team. Our events will become better. We will have people who are contributing willingly. They're jumping in and saying, yes, I will help. I will do whatever it takes. And so, by drawing on everyone's strengths, learning what they are, first of all, because you can't draw on their strengths. You can't plug them into the team and allow them to get in there and start working and contributing and help, letting people, pull their own weight, like putting their effort and work in. You can't do that if you don't know what they bring to the table. So that's really important as we're onboarding, as we're bringing new people in. But then we want to empower them to lead, to create that duplication. And I've seen a couple of comments pop up in the chat about how important the duplication piece is. And it's so true. If it's like, I can talk to somebody all day long and I can share information and knowledge and I can bring new people in. But if I can't teach that person how to do the same thing, if I can't show them that they can do it too, then it all gets put on my shoulders. Building that whole organization gets put on me. And the weight of that is crushing. But when we recognize that by empowering other people to become leaders, to be able to have those skills, to do it on their own, to then empower more people, that's where the power comes in. And so I know Ant wants to talk about that leadership this morning. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Ant, because I mean, they go hand in hand, right? Identifying those strengths, drawing them out of people, and then empowering them to lead. So talk to us about that.
Absolutely, you guys. And it was so amazing when she texted me her topic, and I was like, well, wow, that goes right hand in hand with what leadership is all about, you guys. Leadership, it all starts with somebody wanting to become a leader. You know, somebody who knows the way that they want to go, someone who is going that way, and then somebody who is not only knows where they're going and going that way, but they're showing other people how to do it as well. That is what makes a leader. And I want everybody to not just think about all the leaders that you may have, your upline. You know, you may think about people that's cross line. You may think of people who not even leaders in this country, that's in our company or in your company, whatever, if you're watching this from a different company. But I want you to also know that you are a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. You signed up in the company you are. For me and all of us, we signed up in New Age, and we're leaders. We're business owners. Now, are we the leader that we want to become yet? We might not be. But you are a leader, and you can become a better leader. That is something that everybody can become better. And you first just gotta know that your actions have to match your words. So my main question for you is, do your actions line up with the words that you talk about all the time? When you say that you want to become better at this business and you want to, fire your boss, you want to build that college fund, well, you're going to have to develop the leadership skills. You're going to have to become a better leader if you want your business to grow, you guys. And that is for anybody and everybody. If I want my business to go to that next level, I have to become a better leader. I have to become a better individual. And it's the same thing with you. I don't care if you're just getting started or you've been in for 10 years, 12 years, 20 years. If you want to go to the next level, you have to develop and become better. And so one of the first things when I talked about this with other people was they was like, well, how do you become a better leader? Well, first you got to identify where you are in there's different leadership skills, but you heard Michelle talk about it. You have to figure out what is your high points. What is something that you love doing, and what are the things that you dislike doing? Because the things you dislike doing, there's always somebody out there who loves doing that. So you got to figure out what is your skill gap on all of those different levels. And these are some of the things that I believe every leader needs to have. And this is something I want you to just sit down and think about. Maybe rate yourself 1 to 10. How do you feel in these areas? Number one is, how do you feel you are with communication? What is your level? Are you 1 for the lowest or 10 being the highest? Where do you feel you at? When you're communicating with other people, when you're communicating with the downline, when you're communicating with the upline, when you're communicating with prospects, where do you feel you're at? What is your number? Number 2 is, how do you feel about when it comes to inspiring and confidence to other people? Where do you feel you're at there? Do you feel that you inspire others? And hey, if you don't know, ask somebody. Ask one of your dearest friends that's in the business with you or your upline and ask them, hey, where would you rate me for inspiring and building confidence into other people? Where would you say 1 to 10, just being honest? And we're going to talk about not taking, taking things that people give you, advice that people give you to heart. because most of the time, and definitely if they're your leader or your friend, they're just trying to help you. And so the next one I would say is, how do you feel where you are with your building? Like as a leader, or you feel that you're a 10 that like, hey, I can build. I'm real good at building. I'm real good at recruiting. I'm real good at finding customers. How do you feel about that? You know, are you good at promoting healthy failures? See, there's nothing wrong with failure. A lot of people look at failure and they oh, I failed. Dang, that's not that good. No, a failure means you tried. Now, what can you learn from it so you can become better? Coaching. Where's your skill level with coaching? How, are you good at when a new person come on? Are you good from taking them from point A to point B to point F? Whatever, you know, are you good at coaching people up to become that next leader that you're looking for? What about focus? How good is your leadership at staying focused and the task at hand? You may say, hey, I'm on a 90-day run, but as soon as day 7 comes, you are already you didn't forgot about the 90-day run. So how good are you at staying focused on the task at hand? Delegation. You heard Michelle talk about it. How good are you at delegating projects to other people? So you got to realize that you can't do everything. Matter of fact, I can guarantee if you feel you got to do everything to be successful in business, you will not have success. Network marketing isn't for anybody that wants to do things all by themselves. Business alone isn't for nobody that wants to do everything by themselves. Why? Because you will burn yourself out. And then what? And then once you burn yourself out, then what? Now you're over here burnt out, and now you want to go back to, go work for somebody else. See, when you realize that you need team, you're going to need team, and you're going to need teamwork to have success here. Yes, you may just begin starting. We may have people who are just getting on here. They don't have anybody in, but guess what? Everybody starts by themselves. But then you still have, like Michelle said, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have an upline. You have surrounding teams that will help you share the information. Then you find people that come on board and you teach them the ropes that you're learning from other leaders in the company, upline, sideline, wherever you're learning it from. And then you got all of these tips, and that's just some of the skills you need. You got just so many different skills that you will develop and learn as becoming a leader. But you take all of that and you take all of those ideas that you gather as a person. See, Michelle is a photographer, so I'm very sure somebody may come to her with an idea, and she takes those ideas and then she puts it on paper and then puts it in the room and makes it just look elegant and just amazing. And that's the same thing that leaders do. You're going to have ideas that come to you from people that's in your downline, that's cross line. And you got to be able to take those ideas, put them on paper, draw them out, come up with some, different things to try out. That's what leaders do. Now, you always do the things that work. And you guys, we all know the things that work. What works, you keep on doing those. But maybe it may be a new idea on social media. Maybe it may be a new idea that you could do at a home party to grab some excitement to come out. Whatever it may be, you try those things out, but you stay with the basics. And that's what leaders do. They learn how to try different things out and teach others and see what works, see what can be, changed and different things. So get the things out of your brain. And that's one of the things leaders do. But I love, you guys, I love tips. Tips on how you could become a better leader. These are things that help me out. Things I hear from other people in our profession, from my mentors and different things like that. But the number one thing I believe a leader needs is patience. You have to be able to be patient because you're going to have people that come into your business that don't have zero understanding of what network marketing is. You have to be patient and willing to help and coach them and teach them, but you also got to be patient with you're going to have people that join your organization that just maybe nag and they're real nagging on you, and you're going to have to be patient on, man, I'm talking to 10 people a day, Nobody's joining. You gotta you gotta have patience with your corporate staff. If you're like us, we went through a merger, and was it easy? No. But see, we as leaders had to be patient, and now we're starting to see, that greener grass on the other side. It's kind of like when you get a new house, or you redoing your whole yard, or you're getting a house built. Hey, you got to start with the foundation. You don't just get the roof and the ceiling. No, you got a foundation first, because without no foundation, you have nothing. So you got to be able to be patient. You got to be a leader also is able to create structure. You heard Michelle talk about it, allowing your leaders to find out what they love doing, and you encouraging them to do that, to do more of that, but also encouraging them to develop the other skills. That's structure. You're allowing your team to develop the structure. That's what leaders do. And you are a leader. So don't look at me and Michelle and say, oh, I want to be like them. No, you're a leader. You just probably got to develop some skills to become a better leader. So you are great. You're God's image. So you're great. Just remember that, you guys. Also, leaders are real good at gathering advice from other leaders. Now, there's a little line in the sand, though. It's just like the saying is, me personally, I'm not married. Why would I go to my friends that are single and have no intentions of being married to take advice about being married? That doesn't make sense. So why would you take advice from people who haven't made money or built a business? See, a lot of times I watch a lot of leaders. I've done it. I fell in this trap before. Take advice from people who maybe just came in. Man, you should do it like this. You should do it like this. Y'all should do it like this. And I'm like, and I found myself going down that rabbit hole of listening to people who hadn't built anything. See, go find people that are the leader that I would love to make money like that. I would love to have an organization like that. I would love to be able to present like that. Go find those leaders, ask them, get in their inbox, become their best friend. Do the things that, find ways to get into their, so, and then also when you're taking advice, you heard me, I was about to say this earlier, but I remember it was one of my tips. Constructive criticism is also something that you got to be able to stop. You got to be able to say, okay, hey, I enjoy your opinion, but this is how we're doing it here. I don't care if they're brand new. And guess what? Don't feel bad if you hurt somebody's feelings. I'm gonna be honest. That's one thing leaders don't, we're not intentionally trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but at the same time, don't let nobody come in and tell you how to run something. If you know how to run it and you know how to get this thing going, don't let the brand new person that just took advice from, their aunt, their uncle, their mom about how to grow a business, and they have never built a network marketing business. See, network marketing is different than other businesses, and you got to understand that. So go grab advice from those people. Another thing that leaders do is they are real good at people skills. I believe this might be number one that everybody should learn how to do. People skills. You have to be able to adapt to the different types of people. I know Michelle is type A personality. I'm not. But I know how to adapt to have conversations with Michelle and let her lead, because that is what she loves to do. That's just her. And you gotta understand that though. Marlene is more like myself. And I see Marlene on my camera. Marlene is more, we're going to let other people lead, but we know how to inspire and impact people. See, you got to learn to do that. I see Michelle Craig on here. Michelle is she's more laid back. See, I know the people I'm around. Do you? Do you know how to adapt to those people? You're going to have people that come in there, they're strictly down the business. They want everything like this. That's Michelle. That's my girl, but that's Michelle. She wants it like that. But then also you got to have those people that's goofy and like to have fun. And they're more laid back. They're like, hey, it's all right. Take your time. It's still going to get done. You got to understand who you're working with. People skills, I believe everybody should go and learn how to go. There's tons of books out there on people skills. There's tons of articles. All you got to do is go to Google and just say people skills. Articles on people skills, and there's different things that you can learn about the different types of people in the world, because once you learn that, you'll be able to adapt. Also, leaders are very specific. So if it's okay, so in New Age we have a big convention coming up, and you hear a lot of leaders talking about it, and they're very specific on what they want to accomplish. But also, when me and Michelle talk, if I want to be specific, I'm gonna be like, hey, Michelle, I want to get 100 people in my organization to that event. They're specific on what their goal is that they want. They're specific on what their intentions are. Now, being specific doesn't always mean over exaggerating. See, one of the downfalls in our industry is people over exaggerate, or they exaggerate. They don't, they're real low on the things that they want. Like, oh, I just want to bring 2 people. When in actuality, you could shoot for 10, 15, 20 people. And then some people be like, oh, well, I got tens of thousands of people. So I want this within the next 90 days. Don't over exaggerate, and leaders know how to find that comfort zone. It's right there. It's not like you're over exaggerating to people. Oh, you can make $1 million next week. No, that's not true. If somebody tells you that, they lie. That's why I laugh at all the advertisements and things that come on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm like, no, that's not how you build this. I don't care what business it is. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. And it's not going to be all fairy tale. And leaders are also fair. They're fair. I'm not going to treat Michelle any different than I treat Marlene. I'm going to treat everybody fairly. I'm going to give everybody equal opportunity. And as some people, you may have to, draw a line in the sand again and say, you know what? I got to spend less time listening to all those complaints. But I'm still fair. At the end of the day, I'm fair. Also, a big one is don't complain down, complain up. You'll watch leaders, they won't complain down. It may be something that's very aggravating to them. But also, I watch the good leaders may need to complain, but they only do it for 5 to 6 minutes, and then after that, they're done. See, my philosophy is if it won't matter 5 years from now, then why are you still talking about it after 5 minutes? You get 5 minutes to complain. You get 5 minutes to talk about that person who cut you off on the highway. You get 5 minutes of talking about how a leader came and raided your organization. You get 5 minutes to talk about how a leader left. Guess what? It doesn't matter. If a person leaves, they stay, they order, they don't, they quit. Hey, it doesn't matter. There's trillions of people around the world looking for more, looking for better health, looking for better finances. All you have to do is just be willing to go out there and share. So don't complain over 5 minutes. That's my philosophy. And then last but not least, leaders implement the things that they want to try. Trial and error is the biggest way that I watch leaders have success. They'll try things out. If it works, great. If it don't, they write it down, take notes, and go for it. And it's okay if you're brand new and you're like, well, I suck. Well, guess what? I sucked for years. I was bad at inviting. I was bad at following up. I was bad at doing presentations. I was horrible. And it's okay if you suck at something. Trial and error will make it better for you. You will get better. All you have to do is just keep going one step after the next, and you will get better. And trust me, your team and people around you that maybe haven't joined you yet will notice that. Well, I had somebody reach out to me, Anthony, are you still doing Limu? I am. wow, you've been with it, man. I remember when you got started. I was like, yeah, I was horrible. Remember when I called you and told you everything about it before? Well, can you tell me more about it now? Hey, you know what? I don't want to do you any disservice. But let's sit down, let's grab lunch, or let's jump on the Zoom. It doesn't matter. See, people know and respect people that are honest, and they respect people that say, hey, it was trial and error. You don't have to over exaggerate it. If business has been, for me, business is always great because I'm always getting better. I speak life into my situation, not death. Now, yes, business may have been bad for some people because that's the way they look at it. But for me, it's all trial and error. When business is bad, it's trial and error. I got to change some things up. I got to adapt. I got to learn. I got to do this. And that's what leaders do. They implement the things. So that's what I had to go on top of the teamwork. And Michelle, you rocked it first. And I just wanted to add those tips to everybody. Did you have anything else you wanted to share before we let everybody get off on this wonderful Wednesday?
Yeah, I was just going to say, as you guys take inventory of your leadership skills in the different areas, if you find areas where your number is not as high as you want it to be, please don't allow yourself to say, I suck at being a leader and I can't do this because my number here is not good. We're always growing. Let me rephrase that. We should always be growing. We should always be taking inventory and saying, I'm not where I want to be here yet. And the yet is the important piece. And know that your number is going to be higher in other areas where your strengths are. Continue to use those, continue to build that, continue to grow there. And then surround yourself with other people who maybe your skill set is not strong in communication. So surround yourself with people who are good at that. Identify what are they doing that works well? What do they do to be good at that? And then emulate that, put that into practice and begin doing things that the people who are successful in the areas you want to be, start doing what they're doing and seeing how you're improving, because it's a continual growth journey. You're not always up here at the top. And in fact, I love what you said, Aunt, allow yourself to suck. Like, be willing to suck at something new, because nobody starts at the top. Nobody is a master on day one. So give yourself grace, continue to work hard, and bring along people who are willing to work hard with you. Utilize your strengths and theirs. And I think we're going to be unstoppable. So thanks, Aunt, for your insight. We appreciate you always. You all have a wonderful, blessed Wednesday. We'll let you unmute and say your parting goodbyes. We love you all. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Love you guys. See y'all next week.
Is it every
Thank you,
week?
Anthony and
Yes,
Michelle.
every week.